Hello, and welcome to the Weekly Scroll Podcast. My name is Ryan.
And I'm your Mima, and I'm so happy to see you.
And today, we are going to be reviewing OBACHAN Panic from Vincent Chang, also known as Fly a Turtle on the old tweeters, or X.
Fucking X.
The Everything app. But before that, we'll get into that. But we're going to do what we're going to do all month. We're going to do more fucking ZineQuest.
ZineQuest!
Woo-woo! Yeah.
Woo!
So we're going to do a quick run through of a bunch of... we're going to be a little more organized this time. I want to hyperlink or bookmark the YouTubes and everything more. So we're going to go through some stuff we went through last week just a little quicker and then hit some new stuff. So why don't we hop right into that? How you feel about that, buddy?
I feel great about it. Take us back, Ryan.
Woo. Woo.
Sing
well,
us.
actually, we're going to...
Tell us the story.
We're going to start with something a little different, though.
Okay.
Boom. So, this is the Zine Month Alternative. Jam. Yeah, Jam.
From the genius mind of Adam Vass.
From old Adam Vass there at the World Champ Game Co. So, oh, you know what? I have a whole write-up for this, too, that I could have opened up.
Wow.
I know, right? Not this specifically, but all of these things. And I meant to have it up, and then I didn't, but now I do. So Zine Month is an alternative to the crowdfunding take on Zine Month, the Zine Month Jam. Unaffiliated with any sites, like no hashtag Zemo, no Kickstarter, no nothing. And it is getting back to the roots of zine making. Actually just, anything. Doesn't have to be TTRPG related. Could be setting zine, could be photo zine, could be movie review, could be prose, could be anything. Just making real homemade, zines before the zine became a capital Z and became a commercialized, specific thing. And the only rules are these are not crowdfunding projects. They're supposed to be shit to do besides the crowdfunding stuff. And also no AI and no bigots, creeps, phobics, or assholes.
Good rules.
So obviously, yeah. But this is super, super cool, super excited. This is going to go through the entire month. It is 1 month, 1 day, 9 hours and 37 minutes left in the jam.
Nice.
And it's just a fun thing to do during Zine Month that's not commercial for Zine Month, and to get back, like I said, to the roots of what zine making used to be. And yeah, Adam's going to be dropping a bunch of zine resources throughout the month. There's a couple on the itch page right now. There's Zine Inspiration. They're talking about like a couple of YouTube videos linked here. So it's a cool idea. Obviously, we're doing a lot of stuff for ZineQuest, but it's also really nice to do a lot of stuff that's not, I don't know, completely absorbed in capitalism and consumerism. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like trying not to spend a bunch of money. So I'm like, oh, this is a great idea. I think this is a blast. So
yeah. It's really cool. You can find that at itch.io/jam/ZineMonth24. And that'll take you to the jam page. And yeah, so do that. It's cool. It's a good take. It's a good thing to do during this. Again, I know that we are promoting the commercialism because we want to promote indie authors, but it's also, or indie creators, but it's also a good idea to just make stuff when, when paying your rent wasn't completely related to your creativity. You know what I mean? Like it's nice to have a little different take, But yeah, so that's the first thing. So some of the stuff we've already talked about that you should back, we'll cruise through that pretty quickly. First, Tacticians of yeah. Tactical combat focused tabletop role-playing game of the corrupted fantasy world of it is slow funding. Wizards upon the coast, not wizards on the coast. Wolves upon the coast. Whatsy style on itch. Which means it's going to get more content, but as it does, it's going to get more expensive. So back it now. This is from friend of the show, Christian Sorrell, Meatcastle Gameware. Find that on itch, meatcastlegameware.itch.io/tacticians-of-. It'll be in the links. I'll actually put the links in the shit this time. Back that.
I can't wait to play this.
It's so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually got to play it, but I want to play it
some more. Did. Yeah. Christian also today posted on their Instagram first piece of art, full page art, and it looks cool.
Yeah. Oh, sick. And the first new update, I think, like the expanded you know, more stuff, more expensive thing I think is coming on the 16th. So definitely seeing some progress at that. Initially, it was $1,000 goal. It's already got up to 2,700. Keep supporting that. Christian's awesome. The project's great. Back that.
Big moves.
Number two, we got Greenhorns. Weird Space RPG. This is unthinkable anomalies spawn in the chaos as you create planets out of nothing. A rules-light, dangerously fast sci-fi game built on the Together We Go framework. This is from Marco Serrano, a Spicy Tuna RPG. This is going to be funding until February 15th. So that'll be wrapping up, next week-ish, I think, or whenever that is.
Yes, I think it's 6 days from today. So
yes, something. I don't even know what the fuck day it is.
Today is the 8th.
There we go. So a little bit more than a week. We did 2 APs of this. Part 1 and Part 2 are in the TWS Plays on our YouTube channel or on the podcast. So go check that out. Marco Serrano.
Great anime adventure we went on, you know.
Oh, for sure. And then Marco's on the list of TPK and us. Back that. Next up, we got Runecairn Wardensaga Remastered. Carve your fate with this remastered version of the Norse fantasy Souls-like tabletop role-playing game from Colin Seuer of By Owen's Beard RPG. This project is funding until February 22nd. If you want more Runecairn content, we reviewed it on episode 25. Colin came on the show on episode 52, even though a lot of that was about Wheel and Lead. And we played the remastered version of this on SideQuest 6, which, again, you can find on our podcast and YouTube. But another reason we want to talk about it is new cover drop. Did you see this yet?
Oh, I did. Yeah. I actually follow Crom, the artist, on.
Same. Yeah.
So cool.
So cool.
Really very cool. I mean, I love this game. Norse, Viking, Dark Souls. Like, okay, that's great. I'm down for that.
100%. So last cover was fantastic. This cover is fantastic, and then there's the variant cover. Yeah, the variant cover. There is a draft of the variant cover on there too, which is completely like hand painted and stuff. That's not quite finished, but looks fantastic. So we'll have 3 covers for this when it's all said and done. Well, one of the original covers and the two new covers. So that'll be cool. Next project, the Abbot Trilogy. The 3 system-agnostic, old-school style adventures to use in your favorite TTRPG. Abbot's More, Bitter Peak, and Steel Hollow. These are from Stuart Watkinson of Largshire Press. This project is funding until February 21st. It is funded, but stretch goals are always great. And if you want to hear more talk about that, Stuart was on our show on episode 129. I got a chance to sit down and chat with him and really dig deep into the trilogy of adventures and get a lot of the spoilers and stuff. So really great project, really great art. Stuart's a really great creator. Definitely someone you should back their projects and look forward to their future projects. So that's a fun one. That's a cool one. I definitely back the hell out of that. It's great. Next, Fealty. A token-based TTRPG of courtly drama, incompetent monarchs, and the commoners who steer them. This is from Michael Elliott and Galen Peugeot. We've talked about Michael's project, one of Michael's projects before, Merger, and seen a lot of projects that Galen Peugeot have done art for, such as a lot of I was going to say Fear Witch, a lot of the Spencer Campbell games, like Luna and all that kind of stuff.
Name one.
Spencer Campbell games. Luna's another one. Dusk, Slayers. I mean, my brain broke for a second. Nova. Like, there's a ton. But I know that they did the art for the new Dusk one. This is funding till February 15th. It's a short project. It is funded, but that does not mean you shouldn't go back it. It looks awesome. Michael Elliott does great stuff. You can hear them talk about that project on episode 134 of our podcast, where I sat down with both of them and had a great discussion. The art's fantastic. The project sounds really, really neat. It uses different things like chess pieces and stuff like that. It's a token base versus like a lot of other dice stuff. So sounds really great. Definitely go snag that. It's on Kickstarter until the 15th, like I said. The next one, we got Terror of the Stratos Fiend, Snake Wolf 3. A paranoid, conspiracy-laden 400-page mega dungeon for levels 1 through 6+. of Dungeon Crawl Classics from Sean Richer of Orbital Intelligence. I have like all of the previous Stratosphere stuff and the various things that have come from it. It's awesome. It's weird. It's fucking cool and crazy. Everything Sean Richer does and everything Orbital Intelligence does is exactly what I just said. Awesome and cool and fucking crazy. Definitely
it's
want
very
to...
good weird. Like it's definitely like I have a couple of the Terror of the Stratosphere and they're weird, but they're good.
Yeah, so good. And what I really like about the Kickstarter page too is that they have like an actual timeline of like all of them together, including the future stuff to like wrap it all up. So it's really nice to see that all laid out like that. But this is another one that is funded, but never bad to give them more of your money if you can. And again, highly recommend everything from Orbital Intelligence, and definitely recommend any of the Terror of the Stratosphere things. Really fantastic. Some of them have been converted from DCC to Troika, but most of them are Troika. So snag that and all of the stuff, especially Turnwillow, which is like mech Troika. Really cool.
Very cool.
It's on Kickstarter and it is funding until March 2nd. So 22 days left to continue to support this project. You definitely should. Next one, we got Death Game. Fight for your life for the entertainment of the rich and powerful in this narrative-driven RPG from Laurie O'Connell, with art from Hodag RPG, editing from Samantha Lee, and layout from Luke Earl. That is a stacked crew of people running that are behind this project. It is a pretty short funding. It's only running until February 15th. They are funded. They did unlock one stretch goal so far, which is additional content from Kayla Dice of Ratwave Gamehouse, who was previously on the show on episode 97 to talk about their game Terminal, and you might see again on the show at some point in the next 2 weeks for something else. We'll see when we get this. But this game looks great, sounds great. I mean, it's like Battle Royale / Squid Game / what's the one with Katniss and shit?
Oh, the Hunger Games.
Yeah. Plus Alice in Borderlands. Yeah.
Great on this one too.
Oh yeah, I mean, everything Hodag does.
Yeah,
killed it. Love the cover. Absolutely love the cover. So this is dope. Go back. It unlocks more stretch goals. They got 2 more with with a couple other creators, designers, and stuff being able to come on the project with the expanded stretch goals. So back this. Laurie O'Connell does great stuff. They previously did Hieronymus, which was one of our favorite games of last year. So back it. Go get it. Still on Kickstarter. Death Game. Laurie O'Connell. Next, Overwar, The Night Comes Down, Monarch Edition, the definitive remaster of a gothic fantasy strategy RPG inspired by the classic JRPG console games and the OSR. This is written by Richard Kelly. The original Overwar was Richard Kelly, and then Alex T of Black Oath Entertainment has come onto the project, so those two together could turn it into this definitive remaster. It is not quite funded yet. It's very close. It's at 2,900 out of 3,200 with only 6 days to go. It's funding until the 15th. It looks great. It sounds great. And on top of the original game, this game also allows the solo and co-op editions. So definitely go snag that. Alex, is not going to put his neck out for a game that isn't great. And definitely it was on the show recently and talked about this project specifically and how as soon as they read it, they wanted to make this definitive edition. So definitely go back support that, and support Black Oath as well. Cool project. Again, only till the 15th, so snag that. Next up, The Curse of Misling Grove. This is the module for OSE, where your PCs will breach the unbreachable door into the cursed Renwall Tower in a grove cloaked in perpetual storm and learn what happened in that cursed place centuries ago. This is from Nova of Idle Cartulary, the author of the Playful Void blog. This is funded, but only funding until February 14th, so you got 6 days left to go on that. But again, with all of these, even if they're funded, fund them some more. Nova does some cool stuff. Hiss and some other things that they've done, the Ludicrous Compendium, all that stuff. Find their itch page, support their stuff. Good shit. No. Oh, and I think that's the last one of the stuff we talked about last week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on to the new, the now.
To the new. Yeah. The new. Something you saw recently on our show. This is the Wig-Maker's Fingers, a fashionable one-shot adventure compatible with Into the Odd set in the city of Bastion. This is from Lewis Colburn and Max Moon. Actually, like, I think it might be our last episode as an AP of this.
The last time we were on. Yeah, we got to play it. It was good. It was fun. I love Into the Odd, so I'm glad that we have to. Oh, cool. Yeah, we get to play Into the Odd.
Yeah. And what's cool too is like there's so much Into the Odd, there's so much like Mark of the Odd stuff out there, but actual adventures in Bastion for Into the Odd, not a ton. And it was cool to actually be in Bastion.
Like, I love Bastion. I think it's a great setting. I think it's really cool and very variable. And I think there's like a lot of really great like themes that you can carry on. And the Wig-Maker's Fingers carries a lot of them. It fits really well into Bastion. It feels weird. Like the finger thing is very like a weird, dark, aristocratic like horror. You know, what a great, great idea.
Oh, so good.
I hate this project. So
yeah. Oh yeah. Are there any of the fingy thingy? Oh, there's actually at the highest tier.
One Ryan got.
Yeah, well, of course, yeah. Lewis, on top of their normal job as an artist, a great sculptor, they are going to make 5 of the finger things, it's called. Spoiler alert for the adventure. It is this horrible little finger monster thing, but there's going to be 5 sculptures that you can get on top of the hardback of the adventure. It is a hardback. It is written by Lewis. And all of the like layout and graphic design and all that kind of stuff is done by a friend of the show and genuinely one of the greatest human beings I've ever known, Max Moon.
Max Moon!
Yeah, love Max to death. Lewis is a great guy as well. This is funded. Again, obviously it can be more funded, so go do that. The book looks great. I don't think they did a lot of stretch goals because I think with add-on stretch goals... Oh, yeah, okay. The Crypt Wizard Max Moon Vault Crawler t-shirt is fucking amazing. The art from Vault Crawler killed it, love it. But as far as the game goes, I think they pretty much just said fuck stretch goals, we're gonna make the book the way we want to make the book to start and just try to fund it. So it's already got a ribbon, it's already got really hardback.
A lot of projects out there could take a note from that and hey, like you should just do the project, no feature creep, you know. Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to do a lot of stretch goals, I don't mind it being making the book. I think the 2 things you can do are make the physical thing better and pay your people more versus bringing in 30 people to write more shit for your shit. Because that just, or unlock like doodads and bobs and shit. I mean, do whatever. It's your Kickstarter. But have fun getting all those pieces into a box in less than 3 years. Man.
It's funny, yeah. It's like 3 years later, you're like, oh yeah, I forgot I'm still receiving this one thing. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah. It's funny. I have a project that might eventually get to me, but they're like, we mailed everything. And I'm like, I emailed you guys like 3 times already telling you that I moved like twice in the 4 years since this project came out. No one ever got back to me. So if you mailed it out, cool. Can you mail me another one? Because that kind of sucks. Anyway, Precious Things is a 1-page RPG about tiny dragons building cozy hordes built on the Lasers and Feelings game from John Harper. It's never going to not blow my mind that the same person that did World of Dungeons and Lasers and Feelings did Blades in the Dark. Anyway, but this project is a little bit different. This is from Lucas Zellers with layout from Emily Entner. It's a 1-page ish Lasers and Feelings game that exists now. You can play it now. The graphic design is really cool. The dragons are cute as hell.
Absolutely.
This is actually to fund a physical sticker sheet. So this is interesting, and this is one of the things I love about Itch, right? Is that the game right now is free. You can just get a community copy and it's free. Or you can pay $7 instead of $5, which it normally is. And if they reach their funding goal, which is only $350. They're at $130 now. Everyone that backs it for the $7 gets will have a sticker sheet of all the cute little dragons mailed to them. And then on top of that, Lucas Zellers, who is with gosh, I knew I should have put the Scintilla Studio is actually developing this with Wedding Games, who did a number of fantastic projects. Never Going Home is one of them. Jiangxi. They're developing that to come to Kickstarter in the future. So it's an interesting thing that it kind of exists now as one-page game. This is not for the game necessarily. It's for a sticker sheet, but this game will eventually be expanded as it's developed by Wedding to come to Kickstarter. So this is exactly what I feel like it's for, and I really dig it.
Yeah, it's a very cool use of the slow funding. Also, tiny dragon stickers.
How cute are these fucking dragons?
I know, they're pretty, actually, genuinely, they're actually pretty cute.
They're cute as fuck. Yeah. And the game is really neat too. I love Lasers and Feelings. I think it's a great minimalist game. All right, next up we have, I put these out of order. Milk Bar. This is create your communard, dive into the abandoned Soviet research facility and upgrade your milk bar for the people. Yeah. This is from Eric Swicky of Peregrine Coast Press. This is funding for only 7 more days. Funding till the 16th. It is funded, but once again, stretch goals are a thing, and you should fund it more. It looks absolutely stunning. I love the colors. It's a very yellow and a very light blue. It is
very stylish. It does look very, very good.
It looks dope. And the poster that you can get, and I'm pretty positive it's risograph. These two colors together are going to look so fucking insane as a risograph. Yeah, right. So yeah, really great looking project. It is obviously it's a role-playing game in an alternate timeline post-Soviet Poland. After the Soviets grew in power, their ultimate clash with capital left your city in ruin. All you can do now is gather your fellow communards, salvage whatever you can, and build your milk bar. This is built on Care, Mustard, and Mothership in video games like Disco Elysium, Control. So it's a game about post-collapse and rebuilding. Again, it looks fantastic. It's a really cool concept. I love the stylings, and also the game itself is a very weird format. It's 11 centimeters by 22 centimeters with exposed binding, like the Frontier Scum.
I did see that. I'm like, oh, cool, awesome. I love a good artifact, for the bookshelf. So
it's definitely, it feels almost like it's more pamphlet shaped,
Yeah, absolutely, but not a pamphlet.
But not a pamphlet, but it's that very narrow, tall shape, and the exposed binding. I love that, and I love how well it stays open on the table. So really looks great. Great looking project. And also Peregrine Cross does a lot of really, really cool stuff. You should definitely check out their website and all the stuff they do there. Not just TTRPG stuff, but they put a lot of poetry and prose and things like that as well. So definitely check them out. Next up, Seuer. Excuse me, a biopunk and body horror bio-titan battler. This is a solo map-making grid combat TTRPG inspired by Shadow of the Colossus, Souls-like, and Scorn. This is from Alexei Vella. We've talked about it on the show before. Myself and Josh Demansky reviewed They Feed on Fear. They also co-wrote Liminal with Neon Rot, and they also did We Are Legion and a bunch of other really cool stuff. Always fucked up stuff, which I love.
I still haven't played We Are Legion. I backed it, so
yeah, it's cool. It's a great. I mean, everything they do is great looking. They're a fantastic
Liminal
artist.
Cool. Liminal underscore, not the other one.
Liminal horror. Yeah. A lot still map making ish game.
Yeah.
Well, not map making. You know what I mean.
There are elements.
Yeah. Seuer looks really, really cool, though. What is Seuer? Seuer is a solo TTRPG inspired by Shadow of the Colossus and Souls, like we said, set in a Scorn-like setting, armed with Seuer-born weapon and armor. You take on the role of a Seuer-born knight. You venture out from the mausoleum into the Scablands, the domain of the Biotitans. Your task is to rid the world of Biotitans, their drones, and their golems made of bioflesh, and absorb as much ichor Ichor as possible to reclaim the world for humankind. So it combines emergent map making with tactical grid-based combat between sword-born knights and enormous bio-titans. So, looks really cool. And the artists that they have again, everything that they do is just banger as far as the art goes.
It is very like Scorn core, you know. I haven't actually played Scorn, but I watched my roommate play it. But it's very, very similar vibe.
Oh,
the
for
art's
sure.
Crazy.
It's crazy, but I mean, so Mortifer.um, the Mexican horror illustrator. There is Daniel Vega, who does the Codex Normatic, which Daniel Vega's period one of my favorite artists alive right now. Love their stuff. It is so fucked in such an amazing way. And then Jonathan LaMancha, who does just fantastic work in a very, I don't even know how to describe its style. It's like maximalist, like gross core stuff with eyes and flesh, and it's just everything that they've done is absolutely fantastic. So go check out all three of those. And what can you get with a project? A ton of stuff. You get the game book, you get an adventure, tons of upgrades. It's you know, I love Alexei Vella stuff. Anything that they do, I'm gonna back. And if you want to venture with your Sword Knight into the Scablands, this is the game for you. And
brother.
And just in case you need a little bit more, the pledge tiers are called the Burst Pustule, Fresh Scars, In the Flesh, and Biotitan Attack, just in case you needed to know that.
This does have a pustule vibe to it, you know?
Yeah. Hardcore pussy. Purulent even, you know?
None of those words in the Holy Scripture, man.
Yeah. I've read doctors write pussy discharge way too many times. Pussy's not a word, just in case you need to know.
We're doing great here on the Weekly Scroll today.
Look at us. Next one is called You Are a Billionaire and One Day You Will Die. This is a solo RPG.
Such a good title.
Right? It's a solo RPG about the arcane darkness that lies in every billionaire's soul. This is from Big Lizard Games. It sounds fantastic. You are a billionaire. And I really love how to play. It says You Are a Billionaire, One Day You Will Die is a one-player role-playing game that uses randomized creative prompts to build a rich storytelling experience. You respond to prompts, etc., etc. But what is it? There's one line here that I really loved a lot. It says You Are a Billionaire, One Day You Will Die is setting neutral. Stories begin in the modern world, but you can branch out into themes of arcane rituals, grimdark sci-fi, and esoteric secrets. Will you transform your body with steel and silicone? Will you turn to dark magics and their hidden power? What will you sacrifice in your endless quest for immortality? So it's basically like You Are a Billionaire, One Day You Will Die is like you are a billionaire and one day you will die and you don't want to. And how fucked up are you gonna like go in order to try to keep being alive in your billionaireness, you know?
This game's gonna be prophetic, you know?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. We're definitely gonna have like the Elon running around in like the Ronald Reagan in a jar from fucking Futurama, but it's just gonna be Elon still fucking shit posting on.
Oh my God, it sounds like
whatever
hell.
Fucking zitter it's called in the future. Anyway, really cool looking projects. I definitely really like this. I'm not a huge solo like journaling person, but I really love the concepts of this.
I'm getting more into it because I have a job where I'm on the phone a lot right now. And I have so much empty space in my head and so much time. And I'm starting to actually now I'm like, okay, I'll play some more solo journaling games. I got time for it. So
yeah, this one looks really cool. I really like the concepts. It's got I keep not saying the dates on some of these. Oh, I didn't write the date that that Seuer. It's got 22 days left just for the whole month. So You Are a Billionaire and You Will Die is funding until February 29th. It's got 3 weeks left on it. It is also on Kickstarter. Go back it. It's only got a $631 goal, which makes me think that it's probably not in Merc. And yeah, it's 500 pounds. So and it's at $510 right now. So that's it's like $120 from funding. Definitely go back. This sounds great. Again, I really like the concepts. It feels like it could get very Cronenbergy, you know?
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. Yeah. In fact, I would almost insist on it in my head canon. Like, this is going to be getting weird. So,
yep. Yeah. So that's cool one. The next one we're talking about is called CONVICT-ION TTRPG. This is, it says, use your gender to find the truth and break free. This is from W.H. Arthur. This is a tabletop role-playing game that uses a modified version of the Belonging Outside Belonging system, which is fantastic. It's a game that we definitely have on our list for sooner than later. And the homies at the RTFM podcast recently read through or discussed the Belonging Outside Belonging system. So it's an interesting concept. Obviously, it fits into this, concept of or games that are more focused in on gender politics, not gender politics. But this is a tabletop role-playing game that uses modified BOB system and is inspired by Life is Strange, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Persona, and as well as the philosophy of Butler and Foucault. It says each user takes on the identity via Convicted, one of the protagonists of the story, and during the game, the players also take part in building their world, the characters inhabit, and narrating the consequences of their actions. So yeah, this is definitely a like you're actually using your gender in the concepts of the game. So and the cover is a butterfly with various flags on it, trans flag, as well as some others. So this is it sounds really neat. I really like it. This from WH. It
sounds kind of heady. I'm kind of into it, actually.
It sounds super heady. But a preview of the game is a preview version of the game, including the first scenario, Existence is Queer, can be found linked on the Kickstarter. So click that, check that out. This is from W.H. Arthur. It is funding. I don't know. I was so bad about writing all my notes. It's funding for 15 more days. It is not quite funded yet. It's at $530 of an $884 goal. So definitely go snag that. As I said, it looks really interesting. It's definitely, like Hunter said, it's a little heavier. It definitely could get a little heavy. So it sounds really interesting. And I love Belonging Outside Belonging. I definitely want to keep finding and playing more games with the Belonging Outside Belonging system. So cool project on Kickstarter. Go snag that. Next one sounds super interesting. There's a bunch of these here, a batch in the middle that aren't funded yet. This one though, like I backed fucking instantaneously. This is called Perfect Momentum. This is a diceless boss fight TTRPG in which 4 immortal heroes hunt down and destroy machine monsters that haunt the post-apocalypse. This is from Scab. Yeah, right. This is from Scablands Press. Funding until March 2nd. So 22 days left. It's at $1,200 of a $2,000 goal. And it just sounds fucking dope. So basically, you faced the creature, you died in the attempt, try again for our sake. What's really interesting about this is obviously as soon as it says Grimdark, I'm like, well, you got me halfway already. You don't really have that much more to convince me. But again, it's a diceless game and all of the fights are boss fights. So it's a very cinematic-y system where you're hunting down these things. So you are actually just using different aspects, your interpretive aspect, your social aspect, or your violence aspect to interact with the community and then go destroy these threats from an outrage, which is a giant machine monster that churns through the landscape. You go try to defeat those. So it's supposed to end up being a 24 to 32 page zine. The art from Alex Sorensen is fantastic. It's insane. Cool. Yeah, it looks really, really great. Why? Oh, I don't know if there's actually a cover. But anyway, so there are 4 classes, and these are your violence aspects. There's Harrier, Skirmisher, Brawler, and Executioner. And what's really interesting is the breakdown of play on the Kickstarter page talks about how it works and how there's no dice and stuff like that. You just use different aspects. And basically, like, it's almost like if the whole Into the Odd, everything, you don't roll, it just hits thing was the whole game. But you're also, when you do play, when you are in combat, the hero, there's a specific order to everything, and the way that a lot of the violence aspects works is to work together, and then all of the 4 players go, and then the outrage goes, and there's like the fallout of like, okay, you did a defensive move, you did an offensive move, you did a defensive move, what all happened with that? The outrage did this, what's the fallout of all of that? So you take damage but you don't, and et cetera, et cetera. So it sounds really interesting. It's really cool concept with the diceless aspects, and just using those aspects to just do what you want to do anyway. It feels very, very narrative, and that's the point, is to feel very narrative and cinematic, and especially in having these boss fights. Basically every fight, there's no minions really, like you're just fighting boss monsters like every time. And there is like a mock-up of the cover here at the bottom, so sounds really cool. Looks really neat. Like I said, it's got about 3 weeks left on it, and about $800 from funding. So if you're into grimdark stuff, interesting new systems, and fighting big monsters in the post-apocalypse, this is definitely one for you. It's cool. Really like it. All right. Subterranean Fighting Freaks is the name of the next one. This is a freakishly fun tabletop RPG where you play mutants living it up on the streets of Chicago, from Andrew Masisco. This is funding until March 2nd. It's at $1,400 of a $3,000 goal. Basically, the city cracked open. The city of Chicago cracked open. An earthquake shook the city, and the very foundation of it split open, sending fissures throughout the Chicagoland area. And afterwards, basically beast monsters, half human monstrosities and stuff, and people emerged, as well as people turning into these quote unquote capital F freaks, which are your characters in the system. And now you're just chilling in Chi-Town as freaks in an underground community that live in the shadows, hiding in abandoned buildings, and you're navigating this subterranean society, forming alliances and battling foes, and having a watchful eye out for the capital N normies, with your freak homies.
That's cool. I'm a freak that lives in Oregon, so
yeah, getting freaky, freaky deaky,
no, too far. Roll it back.
But it's cool. It's a cool looking game. I wish there was a little bit more specific explanation about the system. The video at the top has a lot of cool information. I wouldn't have minded if that information was laid out a little bit more in the rules. But it sounds like a pretty light D6 system. The art's cool. It's got a very heavy like graffiti vibe to it. And the city of Chicago map reminds me a little bit of like the Cyborg map and kind of the way it's laid out, but with a little bit more of like the graffiti style to it. But yeah, you play mutant gangs and cryptid hunters, and you're careful of the men in black so they don't come in and snag you. It sounds neat. It's a cool looking project. This is once again funding until the 22nd. This is Subterranean Fighting Freaks on Kickstarter. Only got 2 more, and then we'll do the other stuff. So I'm not even going to pretend to know how to say this. Fangal Sahala. Tabletop role-playing game, so easy to learn. It's an instruction manual. This is from friend of the show, Gary Snow, Daiku Games. Recently on to run some Bug Busters. This is funded. It's got 12 days to go. It's at $1,600 out of a $743 goal. For those that did watch Bug Busters, I did talk to Gary a little bit about this project. First of all, it's drawn out like an IKEA manual. Like that's what it's supposed to look like.
That makes sense.
And it does. And it makes sense. Yeah. Apparently Fangal Sahala. I'm fucking it up like crazy, and I do apologize to everyone that exists in the place that speaks this language. It's a Swedish word for dungeon. I should have asked Matt. I literally played on the show last night with a Swedish person, and I could have asked him how to say this, and I fucking didn't. I apologize to every Swede in the world for that pronunciation. Apparently, it's the word for dungeon. It's cool. But it uses the cores of the Bugbuster system with like the Doom stack and everything in this game. Yeah.
And
so
I do
was
like that system.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, well, fuck yeah, I'm gonna back this. The art's cool, everything's cool. So
Fangle Sahala is what I got from Google. So
that's about what I said. Fangle Sahala, I'll take it.
Yeah, that was close what you said.
Hey, I'll try. So basically you got
Sahala, but it's Google, so
yeah. You got 4 attributes: Will, Tinker, Agile, and Tough. You have white action dice. You have black Doom dice. Again, very similar to the system that's going to be coming out with Bugbusters, Jinx or Tie, everything like that. So it's really neat. It's really interesting. If you want to get a brief overview of like some aspects of the system, go watch our Bugbusters AP. It was great. It's a good time, and go back it. It looks fun. It looks neat. It's a cool format. It's in a 5.5 by 8.5 like digest size, like saddle stitched one. So it's like a sideways, not a tall one. So yeah, looks really neat. And definitely go check out just everything that Daiku does over on the Daiku podcast. Gary's a great guy. They do a great show over there, and I'm excited for this project and for Bugbusters when it comes out. And last one we're going to be talking about today. This is Ganymede Outriders. This one I think you might dig a lot. This is the tabletop role-playing game of buggies, mayhem, and peril. Ganymede Outriders is a big game in a small package. This is from Giles Pritchard of Caradoc Games. Funding until February 14th. It has passed its funding goal. It's at $940 out of 782. Yeah, it's got that Australian money. Yeah. So, but what is this? This is beyond the dome settlements of Ganymede lies the Frost. Inhabited by separatist gangs and dissidents, the Frost is a dangerous and lawless place. And there are raptors. Your job as Ganymede Outrider is to fix, retrieve, solve, deliver, transport, and defend. It's got fantastic art. The system is really interesting. It's a custom system called the Drift system, where players roll 6-sided dice to determine their success. If they roll well, they earn Drift to spend for various effects. If they roll poorly, it might give the GM Drift instead. And if you look at like the character sheet, I love like the meters and then like the shift box diagrams cool. And shit in it. Yeah,
it's funny because really cool. Every time I hear someone say drift like that, I think of, have you ever seen Tokyo Drift?
Yeah, of course. The
beginning is like drift.
Yeah.
What do you mean drift? It took everything in me when you said drift not to go a drift.
Yeah, it's cool. And it also comes with various vehicle rules because, again, like a buggy is a big part of your play. So there's a whole buggy sheet that has like powertrain, chassis, and steering and suspension. There's like stats and stuff. An integrity track, which looks like a dial. Again, it's a really cool looking zine. It sounds interesting. I like the ideas of the system as they're laid out. So this is definitely one you should go snag. It's only got 5 days left. So go back that. It is funded, but once again, the more you fund creators, the more they can make cool stuff for you. And that is going to be the end of our ZineQuest week 2.
Week 2.
Woo woo.
The second week.
Yes. The second week. So what are we talking about today?
Today.
Yeah. We've only been live for almost an hour, and now we're going to start the man, we're doing less next time. OBACHAN Panic. Beautiful risograph printed zine.
Very stylish zine. Also, shout out grandmas everywhere. Shout out to your OBACHAN, your Mima,
I don't think all mine are dead.
So are mine.
Yeah. Anyway, so what is this game? OBACHAN Panic is a game from Vincent Chang. Fly a Turtle on Twitter. This is an RPG about neurotic aunties who save the world and look good doing it. Inspired by Vincent's glamorous 87-year-old grandma and the Apocalypse World by the Bakers. This project was successfully funded on Kickstarter on March 15th of 2019 during ZineQuest, with 283 backers for $5,000 No, $5,347. And you can find it on their itch at flyerturtle.itch.io/obachan-panic for $9. And there are still some limited risograph print editions available for $17, which includes shipping. So that is OBACHAN Panic. Again, I love risograph, and I love when it's these vibrant colors.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful zine.
Yeah. So, are you ready to hop in? Oh, yeah. Let's review
Absolutely.
it. Let's do it. Again, we're doing nothing but zines all month. So let's look at the zines. OBACHAN Panic. I've wanted to do this one forever, and I'm so glad we're doing it. I know
you have really actually wanted. I'm like, yeah, sure, we'll do this one. So
yeah, because here's the thing: I enjoy so many aspects of PBTA, and then with so much of me, hate other parts of it.
Very fair, you know.
Yeah, so fair, right? This one chops out the thing that I hate most about Apocalypse World and a lot of PBTAs, and I love it a lot. The itch page says it's like Monster of the Week / Monster Hearts, and I've never actually read Monster Hearts, but I have actually I've read and played Monster of the Week, which was enjoyable, kind of.
That was like 2019 when you did that, right? Like, feels like a really long time ago.
When I did Monster of the Week?
Yeah.
It's before I moved. No, it was like 2 or 3 years ago. So like, yeah, no, it was pre-pandemic. Yeah, it was pre-pandemic. So yeah, it would have been like 2019. Yeah. Yeah, a while ago.
Seems like so long ago.
Well, pandemic stole all of our lives. It still is
stealing our lives. So
I'm not even gonna get into it. Where are you fucking masks?
Oh, you mean the plandemic? You mean the government plandemic?
Yeah, you know it. 1 in 10 people that catch COVID get long COVID. Wear your fucking mask. Anyway, so OBACHAN Panic. Love this game. This is, as I said, about the aunties. What is OBACHAN Panic? First of all, again, for those not in podcast land, I know we've said this is beautiful a couple of times. It's risograph printed with a dark purple and bright pink. And it is fucking stunning. I love it. And the art throughout of all the aunties, like the cover has one like rollerblading in a helmet. One's got like a shotgun. One is on like a fucking Harley. Fantastic. Love the art all the way through. This one is this little old grandma like on her flip phone, but then has this insane like sword. Like,
dude, the grandma with the sword is my favorite art piece. It's by far, it's so good.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. The art all the way through is so dope, and I just love the colors too. So, what is OBACHAN Panic? Everyone has an aunt. Everyone has one, an auntie who worries a bit too much about you. Like, you're so thin. Are you eating enough? Why do you never call? Oh, don't mind me. But have you ever wondered why? Because you would worry too, sweetie, if you knew about the alien invasion and robot apocalypse. OBACHAN Panic is a story game where glamorous grannies and aunties save the world and look good doing it. Gossip over tea and crumpets, panic to start some drama, and unleash your OBACHAN superpowers and save the world before dinner. And there's like a nice thick lipstick smooch from grandma right on the page. So there's a quick start, which I really like. It's called quick start, but this is kind of like the pre-game, I would call it. So yeah, one of you will play the role of the GM, the Grandma Master. You are the host.
Gotta be, it has to be.
You're the host, head diva, and ringleader of your local OBACHAN Ladies Club. Let the party begin. One thing is like the Grandma Master is always supposed to be in character. Even like as the players show up at the house, you're supposed to already be like grandma it up, which is great. So
you have cookies and
yeah. I love the preset for this game. Like, I don't remember where we were reading. Maybe it was on the RTFM podcast, but they were talking about like having the time to do more than just like show up and play the game, but like being able to set the mood prior to like chat, like break any tension and everything before the game gets going. And this game really tries to do that as much as possible. So 1, 2, 3, 4 parts of it, unless it's yeah. Number 1 is get crafty. So you can print out the play pack PDF, which you can find at flyingturtle.com/panic. What does that come with? It's a lot of this stuff. So you actually get a character sheet, you get mood sheets, and you get different grandmas and aunties and stuff that you can decorate and cut out and attach to your character sheet. So you should bring scissors, color paper, markers, glue sticks. Remind everyone to grab a couple of D6 to come over. And if you want to have glitter, calligraphy pins, rhinestones, all that, bring that too. Because you're going to make your character sheets together and doll them all up like you would as a grandma on an
It's big cute, bro. Honestly,
Yeah.
what's crazy is that I have all the supplies to do this in my home right now. Yeah, this would be a blast. This would be such a fun time.
Yeah. I want to do this so bad. It's fucking Golden Girls meets like Men in Black, and like I just love the shit out of it. Yeah. Number 2, set the mood. Prepare tier mimosas or perhaps a seasonally appropriate potluck. Light scented candles. Decorate your table with doilies or macrame. And if you have time to watch a movie, check out Mrs. Doubtfire or Crazy Rich Asians or watch the Golden Girls or like any of those kind of things. And then BYOB.
I would absolutely have the Golden Girls on in the background, even if it was like on mute, just playing in the background as we were. Yeah,
that'll set so many vibes. And also, seriously, the doilies, doiling it up in here. And I want to get one of those like plastic, like, I don't know if did your grandparents have everything fucking plastic coated?
No, mine were not that. Mine were, you cannot go in this room. All the nice furniture is in this room. Do not go in there. Do not sit on anything. What the fuck is the room for then?
It's to show off to the other grandmas and aunties.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I hated that room.
Number 3, BYOBACHAN. So time to build your own OBACHAN. Hand everyone a character sheet. Fold the top. We'll get to how the sheet looks. There's actually a page with one filled out. But I really like this character sheet for 2 reasons. So basically, like when you have the character sheet, you would write your name here and fold it so it sits up and people can see your name. And then you take one of the grandmas, color it, sticker it, do whatever, and you actually like tape or glue it to this, so it's got your name and your character standing up next to the name. So fucking cute. I love it.
Damn, bro, I want to play this so bad.
Yeah, let's fucking do it. I'm so down. So time to build your own OBACHAN. Everything I just said, you do that. And then finally, use the tables on the following pages to build your OBACHAN. So do that. So you all do this together. And number 4, get your gossip on. The moment that players arrive, the game is already afoot. So make a character for yourself beforehand, because you always are, the GM is a grandma. Explain the rules and gossip in character. So you're supposed to be in character the whole time. Play it up, compliment them on their creations. While everyone is building their OBACHANs, you whisper story rumors and pass written notes or ask personal questions. This is part of the game. You are an OBACHAN. Metagaming is highly encouraged. All of this is part of the game. Before the game even starts, as soon as players get there, you should have on like your big glasses and your flower hat and like have like something cooking in the stove and shit and be OBACHANing it up before they even get there. So this is an example picture. So this is the, for those who can't see, it's exactly what it said. The sheet's in front of you, but you'll have like a name sheet and then your character right there so that you can always see that what's going on. Some more great art here. I love this granny with like the skull helmet, but it's got a flower on it and stuff. It's great. Don't worry about the rules. The only rule that matters is that everyone is having a fabulous time. Sometimes we spend a whole afternoon decorating our character sheets and eating bonbons and gossiping about The Bachelor. But that is the game. P.S. If your printer gets jammed or you don't have one, just ask your niece or nephew to help. Be sure to call them a millennial. They love that. There's so many of those things right here. It's great. Encourage everyone to get in the mood by accessorizing. The GM should be the most stylish of them all. Like, it reinforces over and over again. Like, it starts as soon as it gets there, and the farther you go with it, the more people will do with it. That's just GMing in general too. Like,
I absolutely agree. I think that's a really great like policy for running all of your games as like the forever GM of your table. But dude, for this, man, I'd go to Goodwill like a couple days before. I'd be getting a big hat. I would be getting like a muumuu or like a like really long robe, slippers, big glasses. I would go all the way with this.
You got to. I mean,
yeah, I think you have to.
The game.
I feel like the game was not as enjoyable if you don't fully commit to the game. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, once again, that's a good rule for every game. So.
Yeah, and again, as a GM, like the harder you go, like if you have a ridiculous NPC with an insane voice, so many of the other people at your table will be more willing to push out because they know they're not the most ridiculous.
It's so true. Yeah, they'll risk a lot more about seeming silly because who cares? I'm the silliest guy here, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So player's guide, think of an Obachan in your life. Now imagine them with Super Saiyan powers activated only by panic attacks. That's you. And today you're going to save the world. It's not easy being an Obachan, but it is simple. Whenever you want, grab the spotlight and say whatever your Obachan is saying or doing and what outcome you're hoping for. Then the GM may tell you to roll 2d6 dice to see what happens. Depending on what you're attempting to roll, it will be modified by your guilt, glamour, or purse stats. So the core move, because everything's a move.
Everything's a move, baby.
So the core move is do whatever, right? So describe your attempt, roll 2d6 and add any modifiers. 10 plus, you succeed fabulously. Tell the GM how it goes down. 7 to 9, you succeed, but at a cost. And 6 minus, you fail with consequence. And on doubles, you must immediately gossip or panic. Doubles is like 16% of the time, I think. That's a decent amount of doubles.
It is.
But it says you can attempt literally anything, invent your own moves. This is where I get hung up the most on a lot of PBTAs. The thing I hate most about Apocalypse World and PBTAs are basic moves.
Oh,
basic moves as written.
Dude, I hate basic moves. I think they're really genuinely. I don't think I hated them as much as you did originally. And the more we've gone through them, and especially going through a game like High Magic Low Lives, where it's like, oh no, there's only the advanced moves, like the special moves that you do, and you're like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. But everything else is just why does everything move? Why is me opening a door, a locked door? Yeah.
It drives me insane, and like, I understand it's a level of scaffolding that people are comfortable with, right? I don't want that much scaffolding. I want minimal scaffolding, right? And I understand that people want a little bit more. I don't like when the things that I want to do and the outcomes of those things are dictated by a pick list.
Yeah, pick two from the list. Pick 3 from the list. It's like, I just do the thing?
Which is fine for advanced, exactly like we talked about in High Magic Low Lives. Advanced powers, super crazy shit, because then you're in a situation where you can help, like, it helps scaffold, like, combat and stuff a little bit better.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because that's a time where not having the choice to do fucking everything is a lot better. It's a lot more simplified. Yeah. I dig that. But when I just want to do something, I just want to do it, right? If I want to jump across the table and punch you in the face, I want to do that. No, I don't want to. That sounds like you want to roll for kick ass. No, it sounds like I want to roll across the table and punch you in the goddamn face. Like, that's the other thing is, like, I feel like those basic moves force people to, like, look at their character sheet and go, wait a minute, how do I do what I want to do so it'll trigger this? And it makes me livid. Like, I hate them so much. So I love this because the core move is do whatever. It kind of in the way that World of Dungeons does it. Yeah. Where, like, there are no moves. It's just 2d6 makes success. That's what I love. I love it. Anyway, so that's the core. That's one of the reasons I love this PBTA game specifically, because it gets rid of the thing I hate most in PBTAs, which is basic moves, and everything else in PBTAs I really enjoy. So dig it. I also dig this lady here just belting it out with a giant battle axe on her back.
Yeah. It is very funny. It's like all these like really glamorous grandmas and then these just like massive weapons. I like the sword one again as well because it's like the sword's also fairly glamorous for a sword.
Yeah. Dude, it's definitely like definitely some like it's killed a demon or something. Like it's definitely a powered up sword. So the other part of the core, that's basically the game. And then the other parts of the cores are the YAS points, YIAS points. They are awesome. Spend 1 point to reroll your dice. Spend points to unleash superpowers or hoard them like I do. It says YAS is the official social currency of how fabulous you are. There's no way of quote unquote winning an RPG. Ha, right. Whatevers. That's what it says. That's great. So you can win. So there are three more actions you can do anytime. It's Gossip, Panic, and Unleash your superpower. So whenever you gossip, it's a passive-aggressive way to affect the storyline in the GM. At the start of the game, the GM hands you Secret Rumor. Answer their question secretly as gossip, and the GM may give you a clue during the game that it's time for you to release your gossip, or if you roll doubles, etc., etc. You play along with the gossip and the rumors to earn YAS points, and in the middle of the game during breaks, you can gossip openly or secretly with the GM and earn more YAS points. Because for those that haven't played Monster of the Week, it's a basically like no or very minimal prep game where the GM doesn't even know how it's going to go, and as the players do shit, they just improv and go with it. So it's very heavy on the GM as far as like being able to just instantly like build the world out, but it's really fun. That's the kind of style of, as a forever GM, I like when I get to play too.
As do I. It's much more fun.
Yeah, exactly. So gossiping. Yeah. Oh, it says if your gossip predictions are true, you get YAS points. Panic is a move that sets your party back, but powers up your superpowers. Act out one of your neurotic habits, which you roll on the sheet. And it actually interferes with another player's roll. And then that player gets a -1, but you earn a YAS point. And then you can sabotage yourself too. And remember, when an Obachan panics, they always mean well. They just can't help it sometimes. I like that. Obachans are tough, not mean. And then unleash your superpowers. Unleash, you spend YAS points. You have basic moves and superpower moves. So basic moves are actually specifically basic moves. It's not everything that you want to fucking do, like lumped into some bullshit that's not really what you're trying to do. It's just moves that you get to do whenever you want, but it's still a specific thing. That's what it is. It's a specificity. And those are free, but superpower moves cost YAS points. So anyway, get into it. That's what it says. There's a whole thing about just get into it. Trigger gossip and panic attacks, but never trigger people in real life. Again, you're tough but not mean, etc., etc. So why don't you roll on some of these BYOB tables?
I got to.
Okay.
I got to.
So the first table you roll on is how many kids you have.
It's a D10, right? Hold on. Let me scroll down.
Yeah.
These are funny tables, by the way.
They're fantastic.
5. So 5 is in the as rolled section. The funny one, I love roll for cats, which is 2, 3. And then 10 plus is 10 plus another roll.
Well, the kids too, a 10 is a 10 plus roll again. One of my favorite ones is roll for cats, and number 1 to 2 is your cat as a tiny hot dog. But also 3 through 17 is the number of cats. So if you roll a 16, you have 16 cats in your house. Therapy llama. Kids and cats started off. Roll me a d20 for what your kids or cats call you.
19.
Ooh. Moomy. You're a Moomy. Could have been a Bubby or a BB or a Babushka.
I love 1 and 2 because Obachan, like it's either grandma or aunt. The double A is written for how like it's supposed to be more of an auntie.
Gotcha.
And single A is grandma, but I just think it's funny because they're right there.
Yeah, I like that a lot. A lot of them, I really think it's also interesting too, and I think it's best to roll this first because it really fleshes out your character. Because there's a big difference between a babushka and mama-san and an abuela. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because that really, and then you get a D10 for your figure. What do you roll in there?
D10 for my figure. I rolled a 2. Eggplant.
You're shaped like an eggplant. One of my favorites is number 9, shaped like soft serve. And then you get a D20 for your style stereotype. Yeah.
Yeah. 5. Skydiver, extreme sports, adrenaline junkie, eggplant shaped.
Yeah, there you go. And some of these are so great, like Hagrid from Harry Potter.
That's exactly what I was going to point out. The grandma that looks like Hagrid, and the auntie that looks like Hagrid.
Dr. Ruth as one. There's like the Jersey Shore like hoop earrings one.
No, that was funny. Jerry Seinfeld's mother is pretty good too. Or the Elvira and Morticia, like Elvira / Morticia. Yeah, there's some fun. This is a very fun zine.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's also like a really good example of a game that's like a bit, and it's like so committed to the bit that it's brilliant, you know.
Yeah. The entire game is just riffing the bit, like the entire time.
It is, but in a very good and like not serious way, but like it's really incredibly well done. It's not just like, haha, this whole thing's a joke. It's like, ha, this whole thing's a joke. But look how good these tables are. The rules are really good. Like the whole approach to how you even approach playing this game is itself its own game that is a lot of fun. Yeah.
I really dig it a lot. There's some direction at the bottom that says choose from the above or invent your own. But their favorite method is to roll randomly. And one time it says I rolled 3 cats, and this inspired me instead to make 1 cat with a third eye. And then there's a cat with a third eye there. So that's cool.
Cool.
Roll me D100 3 times for the 3 things that are in your purse. This is 51. Great. I mean, we can't go through. What's up?
51's the first thing. That's a spiked leather jacket.
Makes sense with your adrenaline junkie.
Absolutely. And then actually 31, which is Mr. Magoo glasses.
Perfect.
And then 18, which is 14 colors of nail polish / lipstick.
There you go.
Oh, that was 3, right? Yeah.
So many of these are like infinite butterscotch candy.
Infinite keychain and forgotten keys, you know. Air Jordans signed ultra fresh.
Medical alert pendant. RP card. Yeah. It's just a Monday through Friday pill case. It's just such a great list. I mean, number 96 is a tricked out walker.
Sick.
Roll me a D20 for or 2 D20, 1 for what you secretly know and 1 for your secret past life.
I secretly know how to remove any stain, and my past life, I was the voice of a famous pop star. Secret past life.
Nice.
Yeah.
You rolled one of like the least interesting on the what you secretly know, because you could have you secretly know Snoop Dogg is one of them.
Yeah. No, who killed Princess Di?
Right. I mean the paparazzi, fucking piece of shit. But and I mean Charles, but you secretly know Krav Maga, that's a fun one. And your secret past life was, what'd you say it was?
Voice of a famous pop star.
There you go.
My adrenaline junkie grandma, Yeah.
I like the ex-KGB CIA MI5.
200-year-old Amazon princess.
Oh, that one's dope. The real life Indiana Jones. Oh, number 15.
Oh, I scrolled down. I was reading the next one.
The Lady Killer 69 top gaming champ. Yeah. Yeah, this is great. So throughout the zine, we refer to the player group as ladies, but this has nothing to do with gender, orientation, or facial hair. Take a gander at Henrietta Potter on the last page. They're an Olympic medalist with a passion for country gardening. It says, me, I'm a 200-year-old warrior princess. Doubt me and I'll stab you. Kids these days, best show some respect. Obachan power. And I love it says, so no mercy. And they have like the sewing needles and shit on them. This is great.
Was that the Xena warrior princess?
Yeah, it has to be. Yeah.
So panics.
Yeah, so roll for 3 different panics.
Okay, so I've got 18, which is I would never gossip, but 8 kids or lack thereof, and then 9. What are you wearing?
What are you wearing?
What are you wearing?
Yeah, I would never gossip. You know me. That's not me.
Yeah, absolutely. We never spend 20 minutes before the show starts gossiping about about tabletop stuff. Never. So,
and then you also roll 3 bonds. I guess
I'm just gonna roll one of each, just because it's supposed to be your players to the right and left. So I think you roll.
Your relationship with other characters and introduce your OBACHAN. Feel free to modify. Yeah, I guess maybe you would pick 2 to the left and 1 to the right, or 2 to the right, 1 to the left. It's interesting that it's. Why would you, unless you have 3 bonds on one and 3 bonds on the other?
I kind of thought it was supposed. Well, I guess it does say roll 3 times. I was thinking do 3 and 3. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's you roll 2, 1, or whatever.
And just roll 1 for each.
Yeah, that's what I said. The player on my left must be on happy pills. The player on my right is jealous of my probably my adrenaline junkie lifestyle.
There you go. These are so good. An unreliable Gemini. Tried to steal my husband. Is my dealer. I love number 7 on the left one though. Is a narcissist, unlike me. Yeah, panics are. Oh, this fucking piece of shit. Panics are adorably uncontrollable neurotic triggers or quirks. And then bonds are your relationship with other characters. When you introduce your OBACHAN, describe how you know these other OBACHANs and feel free to modify, etc., etc. This page is driving me nuts. So this is a whole breakdown of like the next one is the character sheet. It's a breakdown of the sheet, what's on it, stats, everything. What's interesting is that like unless they do it in a different part, this is the only sheet where it really talks about like a lot of the rules, like using moves, assigning stats, like all of that is just on this page.
Yeah, I actually had questions about that last night because I didn't. I definitely skimmed this and like did the thing where I read like every other page a lot. And I was interested about that because yeah, there's some stuff I found on here that I couldn't find otherwise, and I didn't know if I just missed it, which is very likely. But
I think it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no. It goes through. No, yeah, it doesn't because it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and point somewhere else. But I don't. That must be in the original
1, 2,
part.
3, 4, 5. Yeah. Sorry.
So write your name in big letters. Fold the name tag down. Cut and glue your standee to decorate. You assign stats. So again, you get guilt, glamour, and purse as your core stats. Guilt is something weaponized, powerful, slow, or intimidating. Glam is something flashy, fast, fancy, or convincing. And then purse is something procured, items, secrets, or stealing. You can literally do anything in this game. When you roll 2d6, add the most appropriate stat. Again, I love that shit. But I also love guilt, glam, and purse as like your stats. Like anything weaponized is guilt. Anything intimidating is guilt. I love it. And then wounds are checked off when suffered. So 1 wound is -1 to all rolls. 2 wounds is -2 to all rolls. If you suffer 3+ wounds, you are incapacitated, and that means you can't make any moves. All you can do is gossip or panic. And you mark off whether it's you only have 2 wounds to start, and it's a wound to the pride and a wound to the body. And then you pick 2 basic moves. You roll 2d6 plus stat in parentheses of the basic move. And then the superpowers, you get to start with 1 of those, and you have to pay the amount of Yas points listed. So there's actually a whole sheet that comes with it, which is a list of all the basic moves and the superpowers. But I want to again clarify that the basic moves, you only get 2 of them. I wish they would have used a different phrase than basic moves, since basic moves is something that already exists in the PBTA vernacular. but you get 2 of them, and you get 1 superpower to start, and that's it. Some of the basic moves are like moves like Swayze. Also, the basic moves and the superhero moves, they go from 6 to 9 for the middle success instead of 7 to 9. So it's a little bonus you get there. But moves like Swayze, no, I don't like that one. Helpful suggestion: 10 plus. The target eagerly or begrudgingly follows your suggestion. 6 to 9 is above, but not as you suggested. And 5 or less, they do the opposite. This way, ladies, 10 plus, lead the group in the right direction to the goal. 6 to 9, lead the group in the wrong place, but find a valuable clue. And 5 minus, you lead the group in the wrong direction. And then superpowers. Does this spark joy? On a 10 plus, Marie Kondo or Martha Stewart is summoned and can clean up or remove 1 item or deal 2 damage per turn. 6 to 9, the target must clean up for 1 turn, and 5 or less, it does not do anything. But there's 8 times 3. There's 24 basic moves to pick from, and 8 superpowers to pick from to start. So those are all things you can get. Yeah. Let me.
The Marie Kondo Martha Stewart one is great. So great.
I need to fix the sheet real quick. To move past this fucking sideways sheet.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
There we go. So it says the game is OBACHAN Panic, not GM Panic. Relax, you'll be fine. Serve tea and compliments to get the juicy gossip flowing. 3 tips to keep it going. So hostess with the mostess. This is what you're supposed to do. These is GM guidance now. Read the quick start. Do everything like doilies, all this stuff. The more you're into it, the more the players will be into it. And the GM or the OBACHAN is always in character. Number 2, gossip and panic is the game. Read what is OBACHAN Panic allowed to the players. Show them the artwork in this book. It says in playtesting, players grok once they see it. So like they go, oh, I'm a grandma with a fucking sword. I get it. I totally get it, Explain that this is a collaborative storytelling game, blah, 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 and encourage players to metagame. Gossip to give the GM ideas. This is a good thing. And panic to win the game with Yas points. This is the game. That is the game. Like metagaming is a game because all your aunties metagame. What do you think those binoculars and the fucking blinds are for? Number 3, foot on the gas pedal. Whenever players make a move, the consequences should always move the game forward. Whenever they fail, the GM takes a move. And whenever stuck, ask the players what happens next. So again, this doesn't explain it super well, I don't think. But the adventure, like this is the style of play of very emergent. Like the reason that you're getting your players to gossip and shit is because that's like the gossip directs you on where the adventure is going to go. Like Monster of the Week kind of does the same thing. Like as the players think they find clues, they are clues, and then you just improv like where those things are going to go. So it says now turn to the back cover, a handy GM moves guide. We'll get to it. I love the GM's guide. More GM's guide. I do like this part. It's a gentle, womanly game and polite conversation. Anyone can change the topic anytime. Basically, this is the whole page about use safety tools, remind players to use panic and gossip moves to create fun and drama and everything. Avoid triggering people IRL. And use rumors and gossip to give newer or quieter players a secret role to get them involved, and encourage other players to use panic to slow down power gamers or spotlight hawks. I don't know about that last one. And it says whether you're an old hand at GMing or if this is your first rodeo, just remember Gambate. I don't know what that means. OBACHANs always give it their all, so remind your players to go overboard. And then running the game. So Grandma Masters prepare a secret agenda, 1 page of prep notes with starting rumors and the main beats, and that's it. Everything else is made up as you go. And the game session flows in 5 parts. First is the prologue. It's rumors. It's the stuff you do while people are making their character sheet when you're passing out like the rumors on sheets, almost like fortune cookies. If I was able to actually stick them in fortune cookies, how fucking sick would that be? If you
It'd be crazy.
Yeah. Act 1, introductions, polite conversation, gossip. This is when you're introducing each other, gossiping about stuff, all that kind of stuff. And then that ends when there's a sudden emergency call to adventure. Like, it's time to go, ladies. Act 2, panic, investigate, and adventure. It turns out that some of the wilder rumors are true, but which ones? The GM goal is to get players to panic, so encourage self-sabotage, encourage gossiping, all that kind of stuff. And at the end, a mini-boss should interrupt their investigation at least twice. The party is wounded, the real mastermind is revealed, etc., etc. Act 3, you unleash your superpowers, which is when you've earned enough Yas points to be a Super Saiyan or to call Martha Stewart or whatever. Really encourage them to use the Yas points to get to the true form or whatever. And then there's on the next episode. So the GM's character shows up late because, when you send the characters away, your grandma, you are supposed to have some reason like, oh, I have a hair appointment, I can't go, so your grandma isn't there. But like after the adventure, they come back and you're supposed to be like, oh, what did I miss? My hair is all perms now. Tell me about what happened. Like that's how you wrap the thing, is like in character gossip and shit about like the adventure you just went on. You can also run a 3-session campaign, session 1, 2, and 3, where you actually can like unlock more stats, more basic moves, more superpower, that kind of stuff. But the player with the most remaining Yas points is the GM for the next game. And you incorporate details from the previous session in that. It says between acts, take a tea break or a pee break, encourage more gossip, and that's where you're going to get more information for the next act and things like that, etc., etc. There's a cool breakdown here for Quest for the Golden Egg, which is an interesting way to how the adventure is prepped. Basically, just start with rumors. There's like 1 or 2 little bits for each act, as it says. Nothing like super laid out, but it's there. There's a couple like quote unquote stat blocks at the bottom. That's it. There's Black Portal Friday, which is another one. And then there is the I do like this Obachan pre-game jam. This is a game about celebrating and appreciating a hidden side of our Obachans. This optional 15-minute warm-up makes your game deeper and warmer. It is also encouraging. It is also highly encouraged if a real Obachan is playing. Ask each player to describe a real Obachan they know. Encourage them to share a photo. What's their most adorable neurotic habit, stuff like that. So basically talk about your Obachans and grandmas and stuff. Get people in the mood. And then I really like this part. It says, why aren't Obachans portrayed as heroes in superhero or action movies? And conclude by saying, today your Obachan will discover that they have hidden superpowers, only they can save the world. And it says, new classes in the powers. Notice there aren't any rules explaining each of the moves. That's because moves are totally up to the GM and player interpretation, etc., etc. Create new classes. It says, any commonly overlooked group in society that has dreams and neurotic quirks and who aren't typically portrayed as heroes in action movies will do to do a new class. Just remember the golden principle. This game is about celebrating them as heroes, not about making a joke of who they are. So it says they're currently developing OG-chan, which is uncle, divorcee, soccer mom / dad spouse, night shift workers, tourists, things like that. And then and then there's a picture of Henrietta on the back, and then there's a back cover, which I really like. So it's basically just like a GM handy tool on the back. When players make a move, it's got the normal stats, it's got the stat modifiers, and it's also got a list of minor moves and major moves. So the minor moves are they succeed, but so minor complication happens, like an enemy takes an action, you lose a Yas point, you draw unwanted attention, things like that. Or the GM major moves means they fail, and that's a real complication. So they and a teammate both panic, they take a wound, they take a -1 to a stat, new enemies, scene changes, things like that. And then there's a thing that says ask players questions. What do you do? What does it look like? It's a really good one-page guidance for PBTA style games, and it's really enjoyable. And it gives examples of compliments. Give them often and early. Oh my God, your dice are so pretty. Oh yeah, I get it, girl. But yeah, so that's Obachan Panic.
Great game.
Yeah.
Very
I
wholesome.
really want to play this again.
Very positive grandma love, you know.
Yeah, I really love that last little bit where it basically says like any people that you wouldn't normally see as superheroes aren't portrayed as one. This is a good game that you could adapt to make those people superheroes. Yeah, like the divorced dad and shit like that. Like obviously they're going through stuff. They went through stuff. They have powers that really help. Like that Xbox you've always wanted. That thing your mom will let you have. Things like that. So. Anyway, so we're going to review real quick here. So once again, that we're doing Zine, so we only have 3 stats for this: visuals, rule set, and vibes. Visuals are all the visuals, art, layout, etc. Rule set is the rule set, if we like it, if it's adapted, etc., etc. And the vibes are just how we feel about the game. Mix of visuals, rule sets, and how bad we want to play it. So visually.
I mean, it's a really great looking Zine. There's really great art. The color palette is fantastic.
Yeah,
it feels like there's a lot of space in it where I need it. Well, there's still like quite a bit written in there, but it doesn't ever feel like too much, you know.
It's good, not like, cramped at all.
Yeah. It's not cramped, and there's also like a really good use of like bolding certain things that break up actual lines as you're reading. There's a lot of correct decisions. I like the banners on top of the pages, and I like everything about it visually. I think it's really good. Yeah. What do you think?
I really dig that. I do dig the banners at the top. It's interesting that though, at least in this part, like most of the banners are in pink. But then at the end, I think those are like the player parts.
Yeah, I think
once it gets to GM parts, it's in purple. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, small visual cues also very good.
Even having just the rule page on the back as layout as part of this too, great choice. Like you said, I think they have a great font choices. It's legible, it's pretty. The risograph was definitely the way to go. It's just so vibrant on the page, and all the fucking grandma art, insane. Is there an artist listed? Illustrations by Alex Sorensen, which we just were talking about. They're doing the art for one of the projects we talked about, Perfected Momentum or something like that. Great. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting it, but it was really cool. They are on Twitter at ODDSBOD Oddsbot. Great, fantastic art. Again, this clearly I think is our favorite piece, and that was that grandma with the big ass sword. Love it.
I do love that piece.
So what are your thoughts visually?
Oh, I mean, this is at the very least, I think an 8 for me visually. I'm pretty good with how this looks overall. I'm trying to think of what it would bump to for a 9 for me, or to a 9 for me. And it's something. I don't know exactly what it is, but it is something.
Yeah, it is something. I think
it's a good 8. I'm happy with 8 for this one.
Yeah, I'm happy with 8 too. I do think there's a couple of things visually that I don't really get or understand. For example, like the character sheet lists like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but 5 has like an arrow to somewhere. Oh, use tables to build, and that it goes over to the other parts. No, it's a 5-step process in the character sheet. I don't know. I think there's maybe just a little bit. The sheet, I think this is relatively self-explanatory, but then I don't know. There's a couple like just like tiny things, but I do love the layout. I do love that like one of the reasons it feels like it's got room is because it leaves room for the tag like all the way across the top of both pages and stuff. I don't know. Yeah. I think 8 feels good for me. I really like it. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. There's just something that doesn't quite get to a 9 for me.
Yeah.
Rule set. So I mean, we talk about PBTA and our feelings about it frequently.
Yeah, this is all the good parts.
This is the good parts.
They're like, hey, you know the parts of PBTA that you guys find tedious? It's like we just cut that shit right out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you can't really overstate the impact and the importance of the like pre-game game or the meta game that's going on at the same time. And how much fun like that is, and it's just a good lesson. Also, like I said earlier, to carry over to all of your games. Like you don't have to dress up as your character and whatever, and bring people in, but like that level of buy-in and excitement and like fun will loosen up a table to be at a very similar level.
Yeah, and I think. it's written into the rules, but also like there's a lot of parts where there is like guidance in like a less bold, italicized section here, and a lot of the guidance really plays into that aspect even more so. It's like it's written in the rules, it's written in guidance, there's written over and over again. Like riff the fucking bit is what it says. Just riff the fucking bit. Yeah. And again, like, yeah, I mean, there's still some PBTA-y aspects that, I mean, you can't get rid of without it still being PBTA. But yeah, the fact that they chopped out like the Apocalypse World style basic moves makes me so happy, so fucking happy. Like that is genuinely the part that I dislike the most. And having the quote unquote like basic move just be do fucking anything makes me feel really good. And I like that they shunted a lot of it into the basic moves, their version, and the superpowers. What are you thinking?
Ooh, I'm thinking this. Ooh, I'm between 8 and 9. I mean, the really like I think I'm at like a light 9 for this one.
I don't know. I think I'm at 8, and the reason I think I'm at 8 is because it's fun, it's flavored nice.
Yeah.
But like as far as the rules go, there's not a single unique thing about this. It's just things that already exist done in like a very marginally different way, just with lots of flavor to it. Like if there was any part of it that like was actually like really unique, I think that might bump me closer to like a 9. But I think
that's fair.
They basically took like once of the week and said get rid of basic moves the way you do it, and that was kind of the game. And then we'll put cool flavor tables and stuff. But as far as the rule set goes, I do really love it. I do really enjoy it. I play the hell out of it. But to me, it doesn't approach like a 9.
Okay. So you think
an
an
8? Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I'm good with that.
Vibes, though. Now that's where all that flavor comes in.
Vibes is a strong 9 for Vibes.
Vibes is strong. I completely agree. I think visually that helps the vibes. I love the pink, the fucking art from Alex Sorensen, what we already talked about, like the go hard, go deep, riff the bit, be a grandma. Like, love the pregame. Yeah, I think this is a goddamn easy 9 for Vibes. Like, I remember, like, I messaged you, and you were like, LOL, okay, or something. And then, how far into the zine were you like, oh, fuck yeah?
Not very far. I was like, oh, it's pretty good. But pretty much at the beginning where it starts talking about, like, you being there as the grandma master and like setting up everything and like being in character. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, this is pretty good. As
soon as I hit the word doily, I was like, you got me a million times over. I love this. I would love to be superhero, Golden Girls. Like, let's fucking do it. And then just the fact that the entire game is just built on gossiping and panicking and shit and like self-sabotage and like, but like not mean. It's just you.
Yeah. No, not me.
It's great. Yeah. It's great. So that's 8 plus 8 plus 9. That's 25 out of 30. High score.
Cool. Very respectable.
This is unquestionably one of my favorite PBTA games that exist in the world. I just love how light and fun it is, and again, like just just remember, riff the fucking bit,
Yeah, riff the bit.
Yeah. So continue to back all the ZineQuest projects. I'll do my best to link them more so in the description of the YouTube videos. And what do we got coming up? We got actual play of the Lost Bay with Hugo tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Woo.
Yeah, very excited for that. I mean, I'm not going to announce too much stuff going forward because we have something every fucking day. So we have an actual play tomorrow. We have an interview on Saturday. We have an actual play on Sunday. We have an interview on Monday. I think maybe Tuesday might be the first break we get in like 4 days. So
yay.
Yeah. Excited and happy we're doing ZineQuest. It's just a lot, and I'll be excited when we're done doing it.
I'm having fun. So
yeah, it's a good time. Anyway, yeah. Back small creators, back their zines, back their fun projects, continue to support them. If you can't financially, retweet their shit, do what you can. Community copies exist, and thank you all so much. Call your grandma. Tell her thanks for all the cards. So have a good day, everybody. Bye.
Bye.